Okay, so you are wanting to choose your own adventure. You're going to start here. Go ahead and open up this link, make your copy, and it should look something like this. Okay, so what you're going to be doing here is where the B was, you're going to be putting your decision. So you're going to put either A or B or whatever you want just under that thing, and you're going to follow along as I describe this. Then, as when I ask you to, when we're on the correct slide, you're going to say what happened, which is going to be in red, and you're going to say why was it important, which is going to be in white. It'll make a lot of sense as we go on, but just follow along with this video, and you'll be able to do it. Okay, feel free to pause whenever you need to write your answers. So first, Lexington and Concord. Choose your own adventure. So here is some important geography. Concord is in the top left, and Boston, this is where you're going to be starting, is in kind of the bottom middle. Okay, and in between Concord and Boston is the town of Lexington. Okay, so you're going to be following that road. Give you a second to take a look. Now, you are on alert. You are Paul Revere, a member of the Sons of Liberty. There are rumors that the British soldiers will set out to arrest Samuel Adams, the founder of the Sons of Liberty, and John Hancock, president of the Continental Congress. Also, that they will go to Concord and take the weapons that they have stockpiled. So, in Concord, there is an arsenal. An arsenal is a building in which guns, ammunition, cannons are stored. Okay, so in Concord, they have that stuff. Okay, so your goal is going to be to protect. Your goal is going to be warning Samuel Adams and John Hancock, and then to go on to Concord to save those weapons, warn the people in Concord. Okay, so let's start here. So at the Old North Tower, you are waiting for a signal in the Old North Tower. The signal appears. The signal is one lantern would be held up here if they were coming by land, and two would be held up if they were coming by sea. And you see two lanterns. So the British are traveling by sea to Lexington and Concord. Your time has come. You are one of two men tasked to warn everyone. You will go on separate routes just in case one of you gets arrested by soldiers on patrol. You plan to meet up in Lexington. So the first choice, the Old North Tower. You jump on your horse and set off. Oh yeah, sorry. One thing to note is that guess what? After the intolerable acts, there are tons and tons of British soldiers all crawling over the colonies. So keep that in mind. So first choice, Old North Tower. You jump on your horse and set off to start your mission. It is important that you pass on the message that the British soldiers, also called regulars, are coming. What do? Do you A, ride as quietly as possible, or B, ride as quickly as possible, shouting, "The British are coming! The British are coming!" So what you're doing now is you're making your decision, A or B, and you're going to be putting it here. So you're going to choose A or B, and then on the next slide, you're going to write down things here. So make your decision now. Go ahead and pause if you need more time, but here is the result. The actual answer is A. You write as quietly as possible, stopping only at key places to knock on certain doors and only alerting special people. Why? So you're writing this down in the first box. Now in the second box, you're writing a summary. You only have to do a summary of each of these. Why? Because there are British sentries everywhere. If you ride through the countryside shouting, you will be arrested long before you reach to accomplish your goal. Now, besides, you and all the other colonists consider yourself to be British. Yelling, "The British are coming, the British are coming," is akin to me running down the hallways of Centennial Middle School and saying, "The Americans are here, the Americans are here." Why, of course. Yeah, they are here. Yeah, of course. Okay, that's how they thought of it. Also, the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, it's pretty stupid if you're trying to do a stealth mission to be screaming the entire time. So Paul Revere, that is a myth. Okay? Next, second choice, Lexington. Go ahead and pause if you need more time. Oh, okay. You and the other man, William Dawes, reach Lexington and warn Samuel Adams and John Hancock that soldiers are on their way to arrest them. They flee. But you are pretty tired. Do you stop to take a break, or do you continue on to Concord? So you accomplish your first mission. Good job. Samuel Adams and John Hancock are safe. You've protected them, but you still have work to do. But do you A, stop to rest? You won't do anyone any good if you fall off your horse from exhaustion. Or do you B, continue on? You can rest after everyone is warned. Okay, pause it here to make your decision. Okay, I hope you've made your decision because we're moving on. The correct answer is B. You continue on. You can rest after everyone is warned. So that's going in the first box. Then you're summarizing this in the second box. At this very moment, the British troops are on the move. As they hope to surprise the towns at dawn, you do not have a single moment to lose. Okay, yeah, the colonists don't know this, but there's actually 700 British troops marching towards Lexington and Concord. Third choice, on the road to Concord. You and William Dawes. Oh, so you're in between Lexington and Concord at this moment. You and William Dawes continue on to warn Concord so they can move the stash of weapons and ammunition. On the way, you encounter another man, Samuel Prescott. He is leaving his fiance's house and volunteers to come with you. What do you say? Do you say A, no thanks, you and Dawes have it under control. Having another person just makes it more likely that you will be caught. Or B, of course. The more the merrier. Plus, the message is more likely to be delivered with 3 men. Third choice result. Oh, I apologize. I hope you paused. Of course, the more the merrier. This is the correct answer. Plus, the message is more likely to be delivered with 3 men. And mind you, you only have to summarize this. It's a very good thing that you had Samuel Prescott come with you guys. Up ahead is a group of soldiers who ambush you. Dawes is knocked off his horse and has to run home on foot. You, Paul Revere, are arrested and taken into custody. Only Samuel Prescott, the last-minute addition, is able to escape and finish the mission to warn Concord. Next, we're on to Lexington. Okay, so out of you 3, only Samuel Prescott is able to make it. Okay, we're on to the next one. Fourth choice, Lexington. You are the commander of the local militia. Paul Revere and William Dawes have warned you that the British soldiers are on their way and head to Concord to pass on the message. What do you do? Do you A, wake the member? Oh, so Paul Revere is captured, so he's no longer a part of the story. Your perspective is now changed. You are the commander of the Lexington militia. Now, mind you, militia, one thing to keep in mind here is that militia don't generally fight as well as trained soldiers. Keep that in mind. So you are the commander of the Lexington militia. What do? You know that the soldiers are coming after you. Do you A, wake the members of your militia and stand ready at the town green, basically the town park? Or B, wake the members of your militia and head on to Concord? What do? Pause and make your choice now, because I'm going to move on. What actually happened was A, you wake the members of your militia and stand ready at the town green. You don't have time to head to Concord, and with a large group, you will alert the British sentries. Plus, you still want to stay and protect your families. Mind you, militia aren't soldiers. They live exactly where they want to protect. Lexington is their home. If they leave it vulnerable to the British, well, that might not be a good thing, okay? So they stand ready at the town green, ready to receive the British. So now we're on to the fifth choice, Lexington Town Green. You and 76 men make up the militia. You are all standing on the town green at dawn with your muskets when 700 British soldiers advance on the town. They realize that you were warned in advance and that the 2 men they were hoping to arrest are long gone. What do? Do you A, demand those British soldiers return to Boston before the militia makes them return? Or B, order your men to disperse. Hopefully the soldiers will pass through the town peacefully. So make your decision, but remember, You have 76 militia members facing down 700 British soldiers. What do? Okay, we're moving on. The actual answer was B. Order your men to disperse. Hopefully the soldiers will pass through the town peacefully. Because you've shown them that you are on alert and aware. To threaten the soldiers who outnumber you 10 to 1 would not only be foolish, but would cause more problems with the government. Mind you, Parker, the commander of the militia, is low ranking. He's a nobody. Well, not a nobody, but he does not have the authority to start a war, especially a battle that he's going to lose. So he tells his 76 militia to retreat. But looky here, you can see on the screen right now the actual situation. So Parker's militia formed up right here. Meanwhile, the British sent one line towards the militia. That line alone outnumbered the militia. They also sent brigades to the right and to the left. If they had surrounded them, that would be horrible. But Parker ordered his militia to disperse. Here's your sixth choice. You have just ordered your men to disperse when all of a sudden a gun is fired. Several rounds are fired before everything is under control. But who actually fired? So you just ordered your men to retreat, and while your back was turned, someone fired a gun. Who was it? One of the militia members or one of the British soldiers? Make your decision now, A or B. The actual answer? Surprise! C, because we still don't know who had fired first. But when the smoke clears, 8 members of your militia are dead, and another 9 are wounded. Only 1 British soldier is wounded at all. So we don't know who fired. And when the smoke cleared, the colonists clearly lost that fight. Remember, militia do not fight as well as trained soldiers. Okay. We're moving on to the next result. Go ahead and pause this if you need more time to jot it down. Okay, now we're in Concord. We changed perspectives again. The British soldiers continue on to Concord, but find that most of the arms have been moved because Samuel Prescott made it through. They find a small amount, and they decide to burn them, but the fire ended up getting a little bit too big. That's when the soldiers on the other side of the town thought that meant they were allowed to burn the whole thing. So they start lighting fires all around Concord. But at the Old North Bridge, so Concord is surrounded by a river, I think on 3 sides. To get over the river, there is famously the Old North Bridge on the north side. It is now held by the British, but local militias from surrounding towns rushed to Concord to help. But British were guarding the Old North Bridge. The militia fired from the other side, and the British backed off. Now we're on to the 7th choice, 4 hours later. After 4 hours of searching Concord and after the fires put out, the British prepare to leave. They suddenly realize that they are outnumbered. All of the local militias have responded to help Concord, and there are 2,000 armed and ready colonists. What do you think happened? Do you think that A, the militias followed the British soldiers, or B, the militias watched the soldiers leave and stayed behind to help Concord? So, do the militias pursue the British, or do they let the British retreat and help fix Concord? Go ahead and pause it here to make your decision. Okay, we're moving on. The actual answer is A. The militias followed the British soldiers. The militias followed the British soldiers, pursuing them the entire way, doing what's called hit-and-run tactics, which we're going to learn more about in just a second. Okay, we're moving on. 8th choice between Lexington and Concord, or Concord and Lexington. The militiamen had begun to fire on the retreating British soldiers, sometimes even firing from behind trees and buildings. What do you think the soldiers do? Do they A, abandon their belongings to run faster, or B, turn and return fire? So the British are retreating with all the loot that they gathered from Concord, and they're being pursued by the colonists. Now, do they A, abandon their belongings, so they drop all their loot to just run that little bit faster, Or do they turn and orderly return fire? Make your decision now. Okay, we're moving on. The actual answer is A. They abandoned their belongings to run faster. The militia then began to pursue faster as well. So they ran, and the colonists, the militia, was hot on their heels. Okay, go ahead and pause it here if you need to, but we're moving on. Lexington again. Another group of British soldiers were waiting at Lexington. However, the militia kept following and firing at the British soldiers. Eventually, they stopped attacking, and the British soldiers escaped to a safe place, the safe place being Boston. So the British had completely taken over. Here's the kind of map. I'll let you pause here and evaluate it. But you can see the Old North Bridge right here. You can see the Paul Revere's ride, although he got captured here, and Samuel Prescott finished the job. Okay, and then the British were pursued all the way back to Lexington. Okay, Lexington and Concord details. This battle occurred on April 19th, 1775. 250 British soldiers were killed or wounded. 90 militiamen were killed or wounded. It was the first conflict of the war. Some say that this is the beginning of the war. Some say that it isn't. So this was a resounding colonial victory. The first battle was a colonial victory. And who can say when the war started? Mrs. Escates believes that it started after the Olive Branch petition. Mr. Small Canyon believes that it started at the Battle of Bunker Hill. You get to make your own decision. Okay. So go ahead. You should have filled out each of these as we go along. Go ahead and submit it whenever you're ready. I hope you have a fantastic day. Oh, how do I pause? Bye.